guys. I hope you're having a fabulous day. It is Tuesday now, a couple days after port surgery, so I figured I'd give you an update. The gauze finally came off, so this is just kind of what it looks like. You actually can't see the port. The camera does not pick it up well, period. I know other people have gotten cameras to pick up ports, and like you see a little bit of a bump. I don't really think I see mine, period, because I took a picture and sent it to my friend last night, and I circled where the port was, and it did not look like anything was there, but it's there. You guys just probably can't see it, and I guess too, like once it's accessed, it'll look maybe different, I'm gonna assume, but it's looking like at most I'm gonna get maybe 2 to 3 bags if I really push it. We'll see how sick I feel of saline this week. I'm feeling pretty sick this morning from not having it. My blood pressure is like 87/69, and my heart rate I think is like 120-ish, and that's with heart meds. Yeah, so I'm pretty weak. I'm pretty tired. Just still a lot is going on, I feel like, with my health, and I'm gonna do separate videos. Otherwise it's gonna end up turning into like an hour-long video. And apparently, which I didn't know, if you sit on your porch, just so you know, and the air conditioning's on in the house, you can hear the air in the background, even though you might think the camera might not pick it up. So just in case you're wondering that. And I've had a hard time still lifting my arms and stuff, so still can't wash my hair, but I'm hoping maybe by the end of the week. But back to the saline, because I'm all over the place still with brain fog and just everything going on. It looks like my supplies should be here by tomorrow, Wednesday, but there's no guarantee with what time. It usually doesn't come till late morning or afternoon. That's if they actually ship it and don't courier it out. If they courier it out, sometimes they don't tell me, then my supplies gets here about 9:30 at night. So there's no way for me to have my nurse come tomorrow. It's just, it's silly for me to plan for her to come and her to show up and me not have supplies. It's stupid and inconsiderate in my personal opinion. So we're not gonna do it that way. So I guess we're gonna aim for Thursday. If she can't come Thursday, I'm in trouble, because then we're not going to be able to access till Saturday, and then I'm kind of like, well, does it even pay to access Saturday, because then we're almost on to another week, and then it's, you know, I'm due for a whole completely new set of 4 bags of saline. So I mean, I guess I could run a bag on Saturday and then just stay accessed for the week, because I think you can leave the needle in, I want to say, a week to maybe 8 or 9 days, I had heard, but I'm gonna double check with my nurse, my protocol, and stuff like that. We went over a little bit of stuff with home health care, which was lots of fun. They've been stressing me out a little bit with just the way that people handle stuff, and they're just not always very encouraging. I feel like more so people think I'm stupid than encouraging me that, you know, well, you can figure out how to do different things with, you know, the port, and if you need a pump or this or that, like, you'll be able to figure it out. There's just not a lot of encouragement, and that just bothers me, because just my personality, I am the complete opposite. I'm going to be the type of person who prefers to encourage somebody about anything, even just randomly encourage people, but the rest of the world doesn't always work that way. So they tend to just stress me out and have me run around in a bunch of little circles. So I need to figure out a better way to handle my home health care. I don't know if that's going to mean switching. I don't know if that means having a representative from the hospital help me with stuff, or just somebody else help me navigate stuff. Just, it's not that I can't do it, it's just the amount of stress that it's giving me, it's not worth the stress. So we're going to see what I can figure out with that eventually. But pain-wise, overall, it's better than it was. My meds in general have not been working again, as they should be. My body kind of freaked out the other day and thought I tapered about 10 milligrams of prednisone. It was freaking out, which causes me also to get really emotional, which is how eventually I figured it out when I was over the top emotional, and it felt like the end of the world. It's like extreme anxiety and depression attacks. I know that's not a real thing, depression attacks, but that's what it feels like. And it's completely steroid related. It's not like anything in like my normal personality. It's like completely over the top and dramatic and sobbing, and nobody understands anything when you're like, you feel like that with prednisone. That's how you feel. You feel like nobody understands anything, nobody gets it. Everything is very irritating. So when I was starting to feel really emotional at first, I was like, well, maybe it was the anesthesia. And then I was like, well, I had only twilight sedation. I was like, well, I've had twilight sedation quite a bit. I've had 6 to 10 probably 10 colonoscopies, if not 12, come to think of it. And tons of upper endoscopies. I mean, I've had this sedation so many times, I can't even count. I've never really had an emotional issue with it. So after a lot of thought and a lot of tears, I figured out that it was prednisone. I did take my dose really, really, really late the day that I had surgery. I usually have up until, I want to say, 10:30 or 11 a.m. is like safe for me to take my prednisone. If I'm going to take it later, I'm going to pay for it. And it's not fun. So I try not to do that. So yeah, the emotional response was all that, and then I ended up having GI issues from that. I'm still having some GI issues this morning. I forced myself to eat breakfast. Not fun. I don't really have much of an appetite today. I try to eat though because I don't want to pass out. So yeah, it just still, I know like it's not ideal obviously to get port surgery or any surgery when you're flaring, but like you also have to kind of look at everything, which stinks, because the alternative was waiting, but then I could have had really bad problems with my PICC line because it would have been a year old at this point. And yes, you can leave it in. I do know there are people who've had them in for 18 months, 2 years. I've even heard now 3 years with a PICC line. But it was just having minor swelling on the arm, and I know everybody's telling me it's not PICC line related. I don't think so either, to be honest, but I'm not willing to take the chance that, okay, with my body freaking out the way it is, that I'm going to get an infection, which could be really bad, or like a really bad PICC line problem, and then like the line just wasn't working stellar. I was sitting on the floor to do infusions, and I was still taking 3 hours to drip. So when Coram told me I had to, I might have to do a 3-hour infusion with the new setup, I was like, oh well, I mean, I've been dripping longer anyways, and she wasn't happy with my response, but I was like, you give and take. Nothing I do is gonna make my situation at this moment completely ideal, and that's okay. Like, I am okay with that. And if other people aren't, I'm really, really sorry for you. But that's just how it works sometimes with health stuff in general. I mean, I'm not the only one who has weird health issues, or I don't match up to somebody's textbook or something like that. So, I mean, you work with what you have. So, all right, I guess I will see you guys later. Bye. Hi guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day. It has been a pretty hectic couple of days. Starting with Thursday, I had gotten a call to come in to see neurology. The appointment did not go quite as well as I'd hoped. It was kind of one of those more so stressful appointments. The doctor just doesn't seem to be equipped to be on my case with so many diseases and so many things going on and so many doctors to communicate with. Kind of more so a doctor who wants to be kind of in control. And my PCP is quite capable, I think, at the moment of handling everybody else and making sure everybody's doing their job. So we don't need 2 people doing that. And there's just a lot of other stuff that the doctor had said that I just wasn't comfortable with. So I'm going to be seeing a different neurologist that I saw in the hospital, because I did see multiple. So we did, though, adjust my dystonia medicine, to like think of the name now, because there's so many things going on at the moment. And then Friday morning I had seen a mast cell doctor. It went pretty well, I guess, overall. She talked about the Xolair injection a little bit, but wasn't really sure if I would get approval at this point in time for it. So right now we're doing Allegra and Zantac, and Benadryl is needed to think about that. It's been, like I said, a pretty crazy few days. So after that, which was quite a drive compared to where I have been usually going, it's about an hour. This was another hour out of the way. So about 2 hours, 4 hours round trip. Then I had my nurse come, and we were supposed to access my port, which was supposed to be very, very simple, very quick. She was here, I would say, at least 30 minutes. She'd try to access me, I want to say at least 8 times, if not more. It took quite a while. And she was not able to access me properly. She was not able to get blood return, and we were not able to flush decently. We were able to flush a little bit, but it was extremely sluggish. At times it was uncomfortable and just very, very hard to even push the syringe to try to flush. Needless to say, didn't work out with her, and I ended up calling my surgeon, and he was in surgery, and so the office told me, of course, to go to the ER to get the port checked. Thankfully, it was a quick ER trip, about maybe 2 hours total, which was so nice. And they did take an x-ray to be on the safe side, but they were able to access my port, hence it is accessed, thankfully.